So today I'm looking into AMO Residence in which the coming weekend, okay, on 9th of July will be the preview. And then after that, it's going to launch on 23rd July. So let's look at AMO Residence. Okay, so we can classify them into four things. Okay, when we analyze AMO Residence, there is the location, the amenities, whether it's the right entry, and the dollars and cents of it. So let's look at where is AMO Residence first. So if we actually look at AMO Residence, for example, it's actually quite a hotly contested area previously. It has drawn 15 bids that time during the government land sales, and then the highest bid then amount to around 1118 per square feet, which was won by UOL Group and Singapore Land Group and Colonial Group Company. So this was actually 6.3% higher. Okay, so it's located here. Okay, so it's located here. Okay, so let's look at UOL. Okay, so it's actually developed by three esteemed developers. Okay, the UOL Group Limited has actually experience of track records of all these developments out here, like the Water Garden, Claiborne, Mayor House, and Avenue South Residence. And then Singapore Land has done all this development before, and Kelong itself was also involved in these three respective development. Okay, so just want to look at how many units are there in total in this development. It's around 372 units, which is quite, I would say, still quite sizable development. Okay, then the site area is so much. Okay, it's quite an okay size, quite a good size for it for development also. Then if we actually look at it, the 2-bedroom units will constitute 49% of it for the development case. Okay, which BP1 and BP2, which I'll share about the 2-bedroom premium floor plan later, which I think that one of it, which is a dumbbell layout, is a very space efficient layout. So let's talk about the location. Location-wise, I think everyone knows AMO is actually the northeast of Singapore and ranked 8 in terms of population over the years. So actually, there's a lot of new residential projects that have undergone a lot of transformation. So if you look at the AMO Residence location, let's just zoom into this. The land parcel is found right here, okay, for the AMO Residence. So it's a stunning view actually, because so this would be the view. Because the north side, which I'm going to share, is going to overlook the Lower Pierce Reservoir. Okay, so there is actually quite a stunning view over at this location here. So in terms of amenities wise, let's look at the amenities that they have. So it's quite a convenient place that they located at. There's a Hong Mao supermarket, okay, just 3 minutes walk away. Okay, and then there's a coffee shop. There is also a 3 minutes walk away. So have good amenities nearby, and the Hong Mao supermarket is actually very big. Yeah, went to scout on it, and yeah, it's really like a very big supermarket, very convenient. And then after that, there's 3 bus stops to AMK Central, AMO Central, 2 MRT stops from the Mayflower MRT to the Upper Thomson MRT line. And of course, it's easily accessible to get to 4 bus stops to the AMO MRT or 1 train stop to Bishan itself. So I think more importantly, why was there so much hype about this, right? Was because of the good schools nearby. So there's Aitong, and then AMO, and then the CHIJ St. Nicholas School nearby. So there's three reputed primary schools that is within 1 km to AMO Residence, and of course a lot of secondary schools nearby. And let's we check out their popularity ranking. So in terms of primary school ranking, actually we can see that the ranking, okay, for our primary school is like rank number 1 is actually CHIJ St. Nicholas School. Then after that, Aitong is actually rank number 3. So it's really quite good to be situated with prestigious school nearby. Okay, so it's not one, but instead there's actually two prestigious primary schools that is within 1 km of AMO residence. So something very good to think about in terms of the investments of homestay. Yeah, because right now there's a lot of emphasis on parents wanting their students to get into certain primary schools also lah. Yeah, so I mean, to be fall under the 1 km radius. So yeah, so that's in terms of the ranking. So let's look at the past trends, which we are going to look at, which is the effects of school on the property prices. So actually, property actually is affected by schools. Not many know, but actually it's really affected. A property can actually appreciate a lot, okay, if it's actually 1 km near schools. So homes located actually even within a 2 km of popular primary schools actually command a large price premium. Okay, then yeah, P1 registration revamp may drive up some home prices also. So that so people are really looking at wanting to be situated near popular schools, which we also look at the data when of previous properties that were near prestigious school and how did they perform later. So in terms of amenities, it's easily accessible not just to one, okay, but two MRT stations like the Mayflower MRT and of course the AMO MRT. So let's look at the in terms of connectivity. The Thomson East Coast Line stage 3 is slated to open in second half of 2022. So we have Mayflower and the Bright Hill MRT actually located along the Thomson East Coast Line. So they are going to open in along the Thomson's, which is stage 2. Okay, they are actually open for operations already. Okay, and are already serving the residents in the immediate vicinity. So let's look at this Thomson East Coast Line. So if you actually look at it when you buy AMO residence, okay, you are actually one stop to the future Cross Island Line interchange, which is essentially Bright Hill. So the nearest MRT from AMO residence is actually the Mayflower. Okay, so you are one stop away from the Bright Hill, which is the interchange, okay, for the future Cross Island Line. So very near, and then 3 stops to the Circle Line interchange. So if you look at it, 3 stops to the Circle Line interchange, okay, because of Caldecott. Okay, so you have Caldecott, which is the Circle Line interchange. Okay, then 5 stops to the Downtown Line interchange. So yeah, we actually 5 stops, okay, to the Downtown Line interchange. So if we look at from Mayflower itself, okay, so we are 5 stops to the Downtown Line interchange. So of course then because it's also near Ang Mo Kio, so it has around 8 stops to the Orchard and North-South Line interchange. And if you're looking at to get to Northeast Line, is 11 stops to SGH and Outram Park, which is actually yeah, a lot of MRT nearby. Yeah. So that is what it provides in terms of connectivity, very well connected because of the fact that it's on the Thomson East Coast Line and it's very near your interchange. Yeah. So yeah, let's look at, let's say in terms of those people who drive, there's also easy access to the major expressways and the upcoming North-South corridor. So it's if you look at it, the North-South corridor, okay, it's also another exciting one, which is also an upcoming one. So there's also great connectivity for those who drive also. Okay, so that is the connectivity part. Okay, so y'all can read up more. Okay, if you are interested also more into the connectivity. Okay, so next one is that is also to talk about is the actually you have the benefits of living near nature. I think Singapore is actually very developed, right? And there's a lot of like high-rise buildings and everything. Sometimes we just really want to chill out and be near nature. Okay, so these are some of the benefits of living near nature. So some of us want the view and really want to just enjoy life or just have a pause in your life, like in the sense that like on weekends you want to chill out, just look out of the window and the balcony, or actually go and enjoy cycling or spend some family time in nature. So the AMO residence allows you to do that, okay, because you are also living near nature. Okay, so there's actually 4 times nature and greenery that surrounds the AMO residence, and it offers you the daily gateway to all things that's natural and invigorating, because you have the Bishan Ang Mo Kio Park, then you have the Lower Pierce Reservoir over there. Okay, so yeah, so that is in terms of the nature and lifestyle, which is also something good for us to look into when we look at this development here. So there's the Lower Pierce Trail also. Okay. Okay, so later I'll share with you all also if we look at the land itself, right? So if we look at this part, okay, like let's go into the land parcel. Okay, so if we go into the land parcel of AMO residence, okay, so let's just zoom in. Okay, so this part over here. So if you look at the land parcel, right, of AMO residence, you will see that if you actually buy units that face the north side, okay, that will actually give you a north view that's towards the low-rise landed and the Lower Pierce Reservoir itself. Yeah, so it will look like this. Okay, so you have a view of the landed and also the Lower Pierce Reservoir. But if you so like let's say towards this side, okay, towards here, then you get the south view, which is towards the Bishan Ang Mo Kio Park. So this is how the land parcels are like. And also there's actually sheltered walkway. Okay, sheltered walkway for you to actually stroll. I think that's important. A sheltered walkway for you to have a 5-minute stroll to Mayflower MRT. Okay, so very good connectivity for you to actually get to the MRT itself. Yeah. So that's the views that I was wanting to talk about. Okay, and how the different units actually have different views on AMO. Okay, so another thing to look into for AMO would be, so as I was sharing the Lower Pierce Reservoir view, okay, if you stay on the north side of the parcel, the part of the parcel, that the north side part, okay, in which you will get your landed view, the Lower Pierce Reservoir view. Yeah. Then after that, so I think a lot of people is also concerned that land prices, it's going to breach 2,000 per PSF, okay? So is it a good entry? So let's look at whether it's a good entry or not. So the current GLS, government land sales and block prices, we actually have a lot of several break evens. That means for developer actually to break even for the amount of price they pay for the land and construction cost, right? Most likely is going, it have to be 2,000 PSF and above. Yeah, because construction price is going up, labor price is going up, inflation, right? So developer sure needs to make money, right? So the break even will always be will most likely, or rather it will be above 2,000 PSF. Now, so the current, if we look at the current new launch prices, right, they have already been trending about 2,000 PSF, and it is a price that we must accept, or rather many people are going to accept or have to accept. Yeah, so let's check out the resale prices. So if you look at it, the current new launch prices have already been trending towards your 2,000 PFS. If you look at all the new launch prices here. So at that point in time when they were launched, like a lot of people couldn't accept it, right? But gradually, people still have to accept that, yeah, it's the PSF is getting higher and higher. And AMO residence is it's also going to be the same case. So your District 20 resale prices are also trending about 2,000 PSF. Yeah, so for District 20 case. Some of you may be wondering what is District 20. It means like basically District 20 is Ang Mo Kio, your Thomson, yeah. This stretch, their resale prices are also trending about 2,000 PSF. Okay, so yeah, so it's a price that we have to accept eventually. Okay, now let's look at dollars and cents wise. So for on-stay investors, I think it's important for us to actually look at whether there is a demand, again, there's a supply. So now the problem now is that there is demand, but there's very little supply, okay, because of the land scarcity. And also whether there's a track record of the developer. You wouldn't want to buy a development like furnishing is not good, the layout is not good. It becomes very hard for you to exit in future. Okay, so because we do see developments, right, like very near MRT, then after that but you are like wondering, how come the price like like this unit and this unit, right? They're very close to each other. They're just one stone throw away. I mean, just one root difference, right? There's this in Bangkok area actually. There's just one yeah, one just over the road. And then after that, one is like selling very high, and then one is actually very low in terms of PSF. Yeah, around $300 difference in terms of PSF. So you're like, huh, how come there's such a difference? Because the track record of the developer is important, because the furnishing and the whole I mean the whole idea is, if you buy this unit, you also want to be is livable, right? So the thing about it is that although they can be in the same location, very near each other, but the layout, the developer is not good. You can't exit also, because nobody will be interested to take over from you for that unit. Yeah. And new launch will usually trumps resale, which we are going to look at it. And also we will need to look at this important factor, whether it's 1 km to 2 prestigious schools, in this case for AMO Residence. So in terms of dollars and cents wise, usually for OCR, which is like where AMO is at, as of the first quarter 2022, the number of years needed to sell all the unsold inventory in the market is 1.3 years. Because the developer always have a specific number of years that they need to sell it out, and then if not, they will incur ABSD. So what happens is that if you look at it, right, it only takes 1.3 years, which is to sell all the unsold inventory. And the situation is dire in the OCR, where you need less than just 1 year, yeah, to actually sell all out, yeah. Because I think nowadays, we also look, more people are looking at the OCR area also, which is like the AMO area. So it doesn't take very long for the developer to sell it. Yeah. In island-wide, of course, for us, we take 1.3 years to clear all island-wide unsold inventory. So that tells you what? That tells you that there's a demand. Okay. So there's a demand. And so, but the problem is, so is there a supply to meet this demand? So if you look at District 20, AMO Residence will actually at around 272 units in District 20. So if you look at District 20, right, there's not much supply. Okay, very little number of units. If we add up the number of units, it's actually very little in the AMO region wise. So Singaporeans are also very interested in AMO, okay, for the August 2022 BTO launch. So of course, when it was launched for the BTO, AMO is actually one of the most popular estate for the BTO August 2022 launch. So if we look at when was the last launch for AMO, the last launch was actually more than 8 years ago. So there's certainly a pent-up demand for it. Yeah. So, and then if you look at the supply available, okay, there's only 7 condo and apartment, and the last one, okay, was the Panorama. Okay, so if you take a look at it, whether, because when we look at a development, whether we want to enter or not, we also want to think of whether there's a lot of supply. Why? Because they will be our competitors. When people want to exit at there, okay, like for example, when you go and search for a unit, right, you say, okay, maybe I want to search for a unit near AMO, then you will certainly shortlist all the units like Panorama, Grandeur 8, or near Thomson, near AMO area. So then they will be your competitors. So if there's a lot of supply in that area, then of course you have a lot of competitors. And so buyer, when a buyer wants to buy, of course they will go and view all units, right? Like yourself, if you are a buyer, you also go and view all the available developments in that area, because you're looking for that area. So that's when you need to think of whether there's a lot of competitors that's competing with you also. Yeah. So AMO has have of the least private housing units, okay, in the Northeast mature estate. So because of that, so you can think about it, like, do you think it will be very overwhelming, okay, because of the so little supply in terms of the private housing units there also, okay? Then also, if we look at it for HDB itself, the AMO new flat is actually cost 792,700. Actually 792,700. Okay, so it's actually costing so much. Okay, it's 700K and above. So if HDB itself is already like this price as compared to the rest of the HDBs in Singapore, what do you think of having a private estate, private house in AMO? Yeah. Okay, so also in terms of UOL, they will have to they always will step up their product offering and price their projects realistically lah, to attract buyers. So if you look at from also the developer point of view, for them, it's always like whether they can break even their land prices, and also they must create products that are very efficient. So there will be a realistic pricing of units and of course an interesting product offering. Okay, so let's look at also the development. Okay, if we look at the development like Clement Canopy, right, the maximum profit is actually 519. Okay, for Clement Canopy. So if you look at, for example, like Principal Garden, let's look at the developments that were actually previously developed by the URL group. So like Clement Canopy, let's look at how did the development fare. They had a maximum profit of 519,000. Okay, so maximum profit 519. Number of profitable transactions is actually very high, 62, and they have 0 that is unprofitable. But if you look at the other development that they actually developed, which is the Principal Garden, same thing, maximum profit was around 691,000. Profitable transaction was 87, unprofitable was 1. Yeah. So to actually look at the track record also of the developer. Then they also developed the Thomson Tree. So if you look at it, same thing, they had a lot of maximum profit from that development was 582. Profitable transaction was 91. A number of unprofitable one was 1. Yeah. Then how about Trigger? So for Trigger, also same thing, profitable transaction was 14, 0 unprofitable one, and they have a maximum profit of 304. So this is just, but do take note, this one is awaiting TOP. That means, yeah, this unit itself, I mean, this development itself is still awaiting TOP. Unlike the other units that has already TOP, like, so that's why the maximum profit is lower, but it hasn't reached the TOP yet. Okay, so then how about like if I live in District 20, okay, there's a lot of gains from the developments in this district. Like the panorama itself, if you look at it, the highest profit was like 885, which is actually very, very high. It's like, yeah, it's actually very a lot of gains. Okay, panorama 698 units in District 20. Then after that, if you look at Jadescape wise, okay, in District 20 also, 787, okay, 787,000 of gains. And then after that, Thomson Tree itself, okay, also in District 20, that means the Ang Mo Kio Thomson area, 500,000 of gains. Yeah, so if you're wondering like whether District 20 is a worthwhile investment also. Then Thomson Impressions also in District 20, 400K of gains also. So also a lot of people always ask me this question, so should I buy resale or new launch? Why should I actually invest in a resale or new launch? And resale is always bigger and cheaper, right? So let's look at the trends. So for resale, like Grander 8 is also is near your Ang Mo Kio MRT. New launch like the Panorama was near your Mayflower MRT. Okay, so they are quite comparable because they are near your MRT stations in District 20. So if we look at it in year 2014, right? Which property do you think you will buy? Will you buy like the resale or the new launch? It's like where you are now. So if you compare Grander 8 at that point in time, of course, it was much cheaper. Okay, in 2014, it was like 1118 PSF, right? Then Panorama was 1323. Then people be like, then of course I want to buy the cheap one, right? And somehow this one bigger, okay, 3-bedroom bigger. This one are smaller, so and more expensive also. So of course some people will think that okay, I just want to buy the cheaper one. Okay, anyway, it's comparable, right? So let's look at how they perform. Okay, so if you look at it, if you look at the Grander 8, for example, it was sold again in 2022. We look at 2022's trends, March and April transactions. Although it was bought at a cheaper price, you must always remember that the appreciation for resale, okay, you see 1118, it became 111292 lah. So the profit was around 90K. But of course, then you must think of how about the interest that you paid during this period also. Yeah, 90K is not going to be a lot because not going to be a lot of profit because you need to take into account the interest loan, then your CPF accrued interest if you use CPF, for example. But if you look at in the case of the Panorama, right, it's 1323 PSF, okay, at 2014, right, just now you were saying. Then now the transacted price is actually 1767 PSF. See the big jump, right? And the profit was like 439,720, half a mil, yeah, 400,000, okay, near half a mil. So do you think you in 2014, right? Although we'll think that, oh, I should buy resale because it's cheaper, but does it have the appreciation, the ability to appreciate as compared to a new launch? Yeah. So new launch condo will outperform the resale condo in the same period from what we have seen, okay, from the graph, okay. Then, okay, so now the next question is also like, okay, so I have this sum of money, should I buy HDB or new launch, right? Because they are all in District 20 anyway. So as I shared just now, then there was this HDB that is like 700, I mean, the HDB prices are like 700 over K. One thing to note is HDB is public housing. Yeah. So if you look at the appreciation part, in terms of Thomson 3 versus AMK HDB, you can see how much is the difference, 80% in terms of appreciation. Then how about this HDB Thomson Impression versus the AMOQ HDB? This is like 30% gains if you have bought a new launch up, okay, versus a HDB. So also this one is also to guide people on the ideas like whether you should buy HDB or new launch, because of course HDB will be cheaper, but it's a public housing, so the appreciation is also limited, okay. So then another thing is also in terms of dollars and cents. For AMO Residence, it's not one, but it has actually two of the most popular, and some is not just popular, but most popular primary schools. So parents want to be an investor. This is of course very, very welcoming. Being near schools will always bring up the property prices. And there's very limited areas where residentials are actually within 1 km to 2 reputed schools actually. So let's look at also, of course, we cannot just say it like that, right? We need to look at data. So why does it pay to invest in a place near popular, right? Popular school, because there's always a better resale value. There's always a higher rentability, and because you got a bigger market, you can actually both investors and parents. So it's always about demand and supply. If there's demand, then of course that will drive the prices up, right? So if you actually look at if I have a development that is near 2 prestigious schools, I'll be able to open up a bigger market because parents will be interested. Now, of course, knowing that there will be appreciation, investors will be interested also. Yeah. So let's look at data also. I think it's important to always look at past data to help us to analyze whether we should put our money in, right? Because I mean, ultimately, it's like this a huge investment. So Panorama was actually up by 32.4% when it's 1 km of CHIJ St. Nick's, and Tapestry is actually up by 12.3% being 1 km of the St. Hilda's Primary School. Okay, then Panorama itself, 1 km. Okay, so you can look at Tapestry, how they actually appreciate that. So definitely being near 1 km to top schools is definitely a good factor for you to think about whether there will be appreciation of the property. Yeah. Then and also of course whether there's resale value. So the resale prices of property within 1 km to the good schools are always markedly higher compared to those that are not. It's because of the because we see that there's also higher rental and volume will be observed. So above few case studies that are actually given to you is 1 km to a good school. Okay, so it's just 1 km to a good school, to one good school. But now your AMO Residence has 2. So what do you think? Okay, in terms of like what do you think in terms of the investment opportunity of this development? So if you so to summarize, okay, actually to summarize all the developments, okay, like Jadescape, Thomson Impressions, Panorama, right? So you can look at also how did they perform. Okay, let's look at how did they perform and their amount of profits. Okay, so they are all near your MRT. So you need to compare apple to apple, right? So they are all near MRT. Then you look at the number of schools, okay, that they are nearby and how did they perform. Okay, so yeah, so that's something that what do y'all think AMO residents will perform? Yeah, this time that is near two prestigious top primary schools. Okay, then another thing is also let's look into the floor plans, okay, of AMO residence itself. So if you look into the floor plans of AMO residence itself, right? So two bedroom units, I would say that the two bedroom premium is actually quite a nice layout, yeah, because it's a dumbbell layout, yeah. So what do I mean by a dumbbell layout, right? You see that is actually you get two junior and suites in that sense, like I mean, you get one more junior and suites. You basically get so-called a two masters idea lah, because your bedroom two and your bath two, okay. If you look at this dumbbell layout, right, you essentially have your, of course, your master bedroom to your master bathroom. But here, right, you have bedroom two also connected to bathroom two in the sense that if you want, okay, you can actually enclose up this area, okay, then transform this into a study room or what. Okay, then after that, you can actually access the bathroom two also. So you actually get two masters idea like, in a two bedroom premium, which I thought was quite a good layout. In terms of because we also want to think of, because layout also plays a very big part when you want to, let's say, exit this development later. And of course, layout plays a big part in your daily living, right? So very good layout for a dumbbell for condo development. Then next we will look at like where are these units about your bedroom study with premium the dumbbell layout, right? It's also that if you look at it, right, I would say that you see this one BP1 and BP1, right? They are overseeing your north views. Yeah, so it's a very efficient layout. Okay, and also it gets to oversee your north view. Yeah, so it actually has quite a good best of a lot of worlds. Yeah, having a good view and having a good layout. Yeah. So I hope you all enjoy this just a little video to learn more about AMO residents. Okay, and I hope so if you've got any questions, you can always PM me. Okay, and also if you want to look at the other floor plans, also possible. Okay, then we'll go into a deeper analysis of this development. Always remember there are many factors that can drive a development, whether it appreciates or not. And I'm more than happy to share it with you. Yeah. So I'll see you all next time. Bye.